started. I'm put it on later when I talk more, but I'm going to use my Britney Spears mic because my voice is tired from teaching all day and doing all that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to try and strain it. So we got just a few more folks coming in, but we're going to go ahead and honor your time and get started, get this done as quick as I can. And make sure that you feel like you know the details and that your babies are being taken care of while you're away. Give you some time to ask questions and all that. First off, I want to introduce Ms. Lisa Price. She is here. She's a representative from Stam Travel and has been doing a lot of the work to make this a successful trip for our band program. And we're very, very lucky to have her here. She's going to go over the itinerary and stuff, and then we're going to go over all of the other things and give you some time to ask questions. So can you guys welcome Lisa? Thank you.
All right, can everyone hear me okay? Good? Okay. So we're going to go over this sheet, which is the itinerary. And again, we'll hold off all questions to the very end. One thing I will say is I did send out an email earlier this week requesting your student's firehouse order. If you have not done that, please go ahead and submit that. Those of you who have emailed me with dietary needs, I'm going through all those tomorrow, so I will be emailing you back for dietary needs, okay? So we are just going to go through this itinerary real quick. So this trip is going to Walt Disney World. Who's ready for Disney? Anyone? Kinda? Okay, no, 2 more weeks. So the group is going to be meeting here at the school at 6 a.m. on Thursday, May 2nd, and then we will be departing at 7 a.m. On the way to Walt Disney World, we'll be having a box lunch, which consists of a Chick-fil-A box lunch, which is a sandwich, cookies, and a bottle of water. Again, for those of you with dietary needs, just email me if you need to do something different. From there, we'll be headed over to Disney Springs. Disney Springs, for those of you who have not been there a while, is what was called Downtown Disney. It's their big shopping area. Lots of food, lots of restaurants, lots of shops, lots of entertainment as you're walking around. It's a lot of fun. From there, we will go ahead and meet and head to the hotel for the night. And then, of course, our night security will be there walking the halls all night. Next day is Friday, May 3rd. We'll be having breakfast at the hotels and then departing for Hollywood Studios. Once we are in Hollywood Studios, we're going to make sure that we eat lunch before we meet up. We're going to meet around 1 o'clock and then head over to the students' workshop. Workshop is being in a recording studio, so it's not in Hollywood Studios, it's in one of the recording studios off property. So we'll go to the recording studio, they will be doing their thing, and then we'll be back to Hollywood Studios around 5:30, enough time for dinner, maybe one ride before Fantasmic, and going and seeing Fantasmic. And I don't know if anyone hasn't seen Fantasmic in a while. About a year and a half ago, they revamped it, and it is amazing. So that's their nighttime show there at Hollywood Studios. Again, after Fantasmic, we'll be getting on the bus, going back to the hotel. And again, nighttime security will be there walking the halls. Next day, which is Saturday, that is the fun day. Who's ready for Magic Kingdom? Anyone? Yeah, kind of? Yeah. So Magic Kingdom is the one with all the rides. I know, it's the end of the day. I get it. It's Thursday. We're almost to the weekend, you guys. So Saturday is Magic Kingdom Day. We'll be headed over to Magic Kingdom. You'll be eating lunch and dinner in the park, and then we will be watching the fireworks show, which is called Happily Ever After. We'll head to the hotel night security. Sunday, which is our last day there, we will be loading up our luggage and heading home. On the way home, we're going to be stopping at a pizzeria. The pizzeria has like a back room that majority of us will fit in. Some of us will be in the front of the restaurant. But the pizzeria will be having cheese and pepperoni pizza, salad, chips, and soft drinks. And then our anticipated time home is somewhere around 6:30. We try to get you home by dinner time. And that's kind of like the outline of the trip. As far as the meal vouchers, while you are in the parks on Friday and Saturday, your students will be getting a meal voucher for each meal. The meal voucher covers your entree, side, and drink for each meal in the parks. So that is all covered. As far as from our end, as far as money, really it's just for snacks if they want extra snacks in the park, and then souvenirs. So, and with that, I will turn it over to your director. Yes, ma'am.
Should we give cash or can we use Apple?
Completely up to you. Disney does take all forms, cash, Apple Pay, card, and it's whatever you and your student are most comfortable using.
All right, so I want to
Follow the thing.
That's usually my job to follow down in front of everyone. We make a good team. All right. This piece of paper, I've had several people ask, haven't we done this already? Yes, you did, but I have to have a new one for each trip that we do. Some of you have filled this form out like 4 or 5 times. But this one is specific to this trip. I would love that if we could do like one overarching one, but you know how it is. So this is specific to this trip. If you've got it filled out, I thought that would just be easiest to get it done and turn it back in today. So there's a turn-in spot over there that you can do it, or you can just hand it to me on your way out. So please take care of that. How many, I'm just curious, how many of us is this your child's first like big like states away kind of trip from you? Okay, all right, sweet. I want you to know we've done this trip a lot. This is my 20th year of teaching, and so I've taken students, and there will be some times where your child doesn't feel good or might be homesick, but we're there for them. And we have Mr. Chesky is going with us. We also have Coach Gazelle, and Coach Gazelle is going to take care of some stuff, if you know Coach G. We also have Mr. Sims, our other band director, who will be here at some point. He's judging drum major auditions for another school right now. So he's away there and should be back in a little bit. Mr. Patel, our high school band director, is also going with us. And then Miss Shriver, our computers teacher, who is fantastic and amazing. So we have faculty on hand who know these students, who know how to deal with students, and who are watching out for that. So know that we are always looking out for your child's safety, and so that this will be a wonderful, memorable time for them. All right, so I'm going to go through a lot of information, and then I will also post this in Google Classroom, and I will send it out. It is posted on our website as well, so you will have all of this information that I'm giving you now. All right, so this is incredibly important. Again, I'll send it out. If you want to take a picture, you can, but I'll send it out. It's our Disney Remind. Now, this is the way that you need to communicate with me if you are a student through this time. Also, Mr. Sims. But I will be sending out information. So if you sign up for this, you're going to get things like, hey, all right, have fun in the park. Here are the things to remember. You're going to get, you have an hour left to be at so-and-so meeting point. So know as a parent that if you're signing up for this, you're going to get all of the live updates throughout that the students are getting as well. There'll be some pictures that I put up and that I share through this. So it's really easy. You do not have to have the app. If you want to get the app, you can. But if you just open up a text message and type in the 2-part 81010, and then in the message of the body at GHDisney24, then it'll lead you through some prompts to sign up for that, so that you can send me messages through that as a parent or as a student. I have learned over the years to take a rechargeable battery that is solar charged, because I learned that your battery power on your cell phone goes very quickly in the parks. All right. This is the packing list. You should have gotten the packing list. Instead of me putting up here, it was over here. I'm going to just check this out instead of me clicking all over some stuff. But on this, if you lose this paper, when I send this out, you can just click on packing list, and you've got the virtual version of it as well. We're going to follow the 1-in-1 rule. You'll be allowed 1 carry-on bag and 1 suitcase. We want that suitcase to be a reasonable size and weight. We're only a few days. It may be up flights of stairs. I'm not sure which level we're on yet, but it'll be 2, 3, maybe 4, right? So be careful there. So one thing that will come on and one thing that will go underneath the bus. Your student is going to get an Orlando t-shirt, a shirt that is just for our trip. Those are supposed to be delivered in late April, so it'll be before you go. Hopefully that is not too much time where they're going to lose it between, those last couple of days. Speaking of losing things, if you look at the next thing, they need their 2023-2024 band shirt. Some people know where they are. Some people haven't worn it since we did our 8th grade band night back in September or October. So find that shirt. It says band on it. It's light blue. It says GHMS band. The band is real big, and there's a bulldog in the A. Okay? I have more. If you need them, I always order extras because people grow out of theirs, or somebody cuts up their shirt, or somebody loses their shirt, or somebody spills bleach on the, you know how it is. So they are $10 if you need another shirt. I have extras. They need to bring all of their necessary supplies to play their instrument. They need their instrument, reeds, all that kind of stuff. Percussionists, all you need is your stick bag. Medication and proper documentation, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. I do recommend a cell phone and a charger, or one of those portable chargers. Those come in very, very handy. They do have some around Disney, but that's very costly. Spending money if you want anything additional. It's Florida in May, so it's going to be hot. I do recommend some things to protect themselves about that, like sunscreens and sunglasses, all of the toiletries. Also, it is Florida in May. It may rain. We're going to go regardless unless there's like some serious severe weather, right? But they may get rained on while we're there, so I do recommend umbrella or rain poncho. Snacks for the trip, or snacks for the road down. Or for the hotel. We're going to also talk about snacks and how we do that in just a second. Please, please, please make sure your kids wear comfortable shoes. We spend a long amount of time in the park, and they are walking. If you've been to Disney, you know, like, you're getting those steps in. So make sure it's comfortable. I cannot tell you, I have seen children walking around by the end of the day just hurting, right, because they made some poor decisions there. In regards to dress code, you know, we want you to be comfortable. It is hot, but let's make sure the rule is that the theoretical rule is that, you know, mid-thigh, right? But we want to make sure that we are not seeing shirts without anything underneath them, you know, where they cover up, right? So we want to represent our school well. Be just aware of that. There is a list of items that are not permitted. And so we are going to check, we will check bags. I'm not digging through your kids' stuff, but we're going to check bags for the 2 t-shirts that they're supposed to wear, and we're going to just be looking to make sure they don't have any of these prohibited items, again, for their safety. I see some children walking in the morning with the Monster drinks. Whenever I say, don't bring energy drinks, listen, they're going to be amped enough. Please leave all of the Monsters and stuff at home, please. All right, it does say on there about where we will check them. We will confiscate if we need to, and it could endanger future trips for your child if they're doing or bringing things that they shouldn't. All right, I'm going to keep going here. I have questions about packing lists. Save those till the end. All right, this is a big one, the medicine procedures. So you may have grabbed or seen this. I went and checked in with Nurse Hyde earlier about it, but this is the form for any medication that your child needs or wants to bring. I'm gonna read this just because I want to make sure I say it correctly. All right. Everything that is medication needs to be supplied by the parent or guardian. If it's at school, the school nurse may not automatically send it on the field trip. So if you've got an EpiPen or something, just check in with Nurse Hyde and make sure she sends it. Usually she does. She is on top of it. We have an incredible nurse here. But it's best too if you just check in on that. This is also another hard thing. We cannot give your child medication unless we have this form. If you think they may possibly need ibuprofen, Benadryl, anything else like that over the counter, please make sure you send it in the form. I could lose my teaching license if I give a student ibuprofen because they're hurting and their head hurts and I don't have this form. And that's a really hard position to be in, where you see a kid that's hurting and your mom heart is like, oh my God, let me just do that, but I cannot. So please make sure if you know your child, you think by the end of the day they're tired and they might just need an ibuprofen or a Tylenol, or they have allergies and they might just need a Benadryl or something like that. Make sure you take care of that with this form. If they have things like an asthmatic inhaler, insulin injection, EpiPen that are required for emergency situations, your student can carry and self-administer as long as you have the correct forms. Talk to Nurse Hyde about that. She'll make sure you have that. But then those also can come with me. We have 3 of the teachers that are trained by Nurse Hyde on giving out medication and going through all of that process. We have usually 2 large bags full of medication that we bring with us to the park. And so we set those at first aid whenever we get there, and that way the students know that if they need something, they can easily go and either find an employee or go to first aid so that it's a very easy thing if they should need something. So again, if you have inhaler, injection, insulin, or EpiPen, you're going to want to make sure you check in with Nurse Hyde to make sure that she is bringing those stuff to us. She made sure to tell me in our conversation today, our school district does not accept any orders for herbal, homeopathic, or non-FDA approved medication to be administered in the schools or on overnight field trips. That means like if your student takes a vitamin, that's not something that we can give them. If your student takes melatonin at night or something like that, that is not something that I can administer. It is only over-the-counter things like Sudafed, ibuprofen, or prescription medication. Let's check in on this. Now, if you lose this paper or you need another one, it is linked right here in this. So you can click here if you need another one. It must be one of these for every single medication. So if you're sending an ibuprofen and you're sending a Benadryl and you're sending a prescription medicine, we should have 3 forms. It's the same form, but all 3. Now, if it is a prescription medicine, that must be filled out by a healthcare provider. Okay? If it is a prescription, you need the doctor's signature. If it is not a prescription, then you as the parent can fill that out. Everything must be in the original marked container. So we cannot we cannot have you come in with a Ziploc bag full of random pills. Okay? I have to say that for a reason though, right? So we want that prescription bottle with the student's name on it and only sending what you need for the trip. So we're not sending a full thing. If you're gone for 3 days, send the doses for 3 days. Okay? If it is the over-the-counter medications, the rules say that it needs to be a new one with an unbroken manufacturer's seal. That's from the district. That's how it is. So they have some of the travel containers and things like that. So that's what we recommend. This is how we would like. We do want a Ziploc bag, but we would like it to be like this. You have your student's name. This makes it much easier for us at check-in and for making sure we've got at medicine time whenever we're taking care of that. Your student's name, last name, first name, their bus number. Your student will be able to find that information on Google Classroom, what room they're in and what bus number they're in. Inside it's got the form. I did not fill it out because I just put it together today, but you would fill out the form. And then there it is, and it would need to be new and unbroken, okay? You can put all of them in one. That would be great. So if you have 3 different medications, we got 3 forms and 3 bottles in here, okay? That's our medication stuff. I even put a picture there, okay? All right. So we got that, and Nurse Hyde, again, she will answer any questions. She's a pro at this. She went with us last year. She knows the ins and outs, and is fantastic, so just check in with her. You've got the itinerary, and we've gone over it, so I'm going to keep going. Do you want to say anything about the app and how that works? I've got this link that I think we've had a while ago, but it talks about some of the different permissions for what age they are.
Yeah, so none of that has really changed as far as permissions on the My Disney Experience app. I will say because your students are going to Magic Kingdom, they're going to want to try to go on Tron. The day before, when we are at studios, what I suggest is whoever they're walking around in their group with, you're going to go to the blue guest services umbrella and link all the tickets together. So only one person in that group has to get up at 7 a.m. the next morning to try to get Tron for the whole group that they're walking around with. I say go to guest services at the blue umbrellas throughout the park, because the tickets that we have from Disney are not like your normal tickets that you would get when you go as a family, and they're very sensitive. So if we ourselves try to link them, sometimes it erases where we're going the next day, and then we get stuck standing at the entrance for like an hour while they try to figure out why your student can't get into the park. So just go to those blue umbrellas, have guest services link those students together so they can, if they want to do the virtual queue for Tron. And that's the only ride, I believe, in Magic Kingdom that has that virtual queue line. As far as permissions on here, I think you have to be 13, I think, to set up, if I remember correct, to set up the My Disney Experience account. And it's just going to tell you basically, like, you know, the wait times, where the bathrooms are, and all that kind of stuff in the park.
It is very, very useful, the app. I do want to just point out, too, though, we'll talk about walking in the park, but they need to be in groups of 4, so that needs to be part of the planning. If you've got one person who wants to go on a ride and has the Genie Pass or whatever, and one person cannot go by themselves. So your group is going to need to coordinate and make sure they're communicating well so that all of your group is staying together if you get to go do that. And that's part of linking the tickets together. I have been amazed at some of the students who are so savvy with all of that stuff. You know, some of the kids who have been going to Disney for a while, and they're like, okay, I've got us planned on this, and you know, they're around the park, and I'm like, okay, y'all, you can be my tour guide too. Let's go. All right. Okay. We ask you to donate snacks because we want to expedite our trips down, our stops down, so that we're not spending a bunch of time in the bus. And also, whenever we get back from the hotel at night, or to the hotel at night, we don't allow students to use the vending machines because we want them to go directly to their rooms and not be wandering around anywhere. So Coach G does a great job of collecting these snacks and then dividing them up and organizing them. And so as we're going down, she usually has a crew of folks too who are her like snack crew. They pull it out and we say, all right, you get 2 snacks and a drink. And they come through and get their stuff. They have their snacks. We get back on the bus. Or in the evening when we get back at 10:30 or whenever, late at night and they're tired. All right, off the buses, you get 2 snacks and a drink. Go to your room. So if you will please, and I'll send this out as a reminder too, last names A through F, a salty snack like chips or something like that. Last names G through O, a sweet snack, something like this, right? Just something a little sweet. And my folks who are P through Z last names, drinks. It can be water, it can be sodas, it can be Gatorade, whatever like that. Try and make it something that is as generic as possible so most people will like it. But that will help us, again, to keep your kids safe, keep them comfortable on the way down and in the hotel. But we do not allow students to, will you hold it? Because the students know I get distracted so easily. Yeah. All right. I'm going to reiterate this to your students, but I hope you also will as well. The 8th grade teachers get hit by a whole lot of field trips. Like a lot of the field trips happen in 8th grade, and so they do a lot of work to make sure that our students have the makeup work that they need, that they have the lessons posted. But I want to make sure that our students know that their grades and all of that stuff comes first. Just because we're going doesn't mean that you are not responsible for the work that you miss. So I recommend talking to your teachers and making sure that you are aware of what you need to do, and you're not putting extra work on them because you're getting to go to Disney, all right? So check in with teachers. Please make sure that you are responsible. I have students who work on the bus on the way down, or work in the hotel, or work in the bus on the way back. So the bus should have Wi-Fi. Yeah, so you're able to access that. Okay, the day of departure. We have moved up. Last year we ran into a ton of traffic, and it actually meant that our evening that we got down there got messed up a little bit. Because we ran into traffic, our bus drivers ran out of their allotted time that they have, and so we had to make a change of plans. So we're leaving earlier this year to hopefully avoid some traffic and still get to do some fun stuff when we get down there on Thursday night. So we're having a time from 6 o'clock to 6:30 in the morning, okay? And that time will be the inspection of bags and medication drop-off. You are be able to park in the blacktop and come on in, and we will I'll have instructions on the board, like the big screens, and you'll be able to see there's a medicine check-in. There'll be a place where Mr. Sims and I are so we can check bags. There'll be a place where we put our bags, and then your students can wait, and then you can go. So sometime between 6 and 6:30. I know you all are super excited people, but please don't come before 6 o'clock, okay? There'll be some children who are ready, and they're like at 5 a.m., how about now? Is it time to go now? Please wait till 6 o'clock. I will be here early, but we're going to be making sure that everything is ready to go for all that we're doing. We will load the buses at 6:30. You don't need to be there for the bus loading. You're in there from that 6 to 6:30 time if you're a parent. We'll get the buses loaded, and our plan is to depart by 7. So we shouldn't even be in the way of anybody else's traffic, and it should be good, and we're ready to go. I pray that they will sleep for the first little, couple hours of that. Paul is over there shaking his head. Yeah. Oh, Lord. All right. So I might sleep on the way down those first couple of times. But anywho. All right. On the bus, we say not with co-eds or significant others. And then snacks. We do invite you to bring snacks. I'm not going to lie. I love when your children bring snacks because I like to walk down the aisle and be like, what you got? A little bit of that. What you got? A little bit of that. But I do recommend bringing like a grocery bag or something. Then sometimes the bus drivers have it right there so we can keep the bus clean as we go. Devices, handheld devices or laptops are acceptable. No gaming systems, but handheld, Switch or laptops if your child wants to bring them. But it is your responsibility, the child's responsibility, if anything gets lost, damaged, or stolen. So make sure that they know that they're aware of that. We usually don't have problems with this, but we'll talk to students about being respectful on the bus and how they act. You don't need to do a tip or gratuity for our bus drivers because that's part of what is included in our package. So that's already done. At the hotel, students may only be in their assigned room. You are never allowed to be in anyone else's rooms, boy, girl, adult, whatever. Only your assigned room. That just keeps it nice and simple and clear. Never ever traveling alone. We'll have our breakfast in the morning. You must always travel with a buddy while we're in the hotel. Always with 4 in the park. They'll receive an in-room time, a lights out time. At lights out, chaperones are visually going to come around and see that everybody is in the room. Tape them in. We have a security guard. We have a security guard that patrols at night on our floors. That is something so that Mr. Sims and I can sleep at night and not worry. It is fantastic. So I get a little report under my door at 5:30 in the morning, and I can pick it up and can see, all right, room 201 at 12:52 was loud, knocked on the door, asked them to be quiet. Right? Like I have a whole report. 58. Went back and asked them again, and then those children get to hang out with me or Mr. Sims or Coach G or one of us in the park the next day. So that's always fun. We wake them up in the morning in the same way. They get a wake up in the morning where we remove the tape, check in, make sure everybody's good, be at breakfast at this time, be on the bus at this time, make sure you bring this. And then if anything happens, then they are just a remind text away from me or Mr. Sims. I have had to switch rooms or change rooms with a group one night because at 11:52 they said the toilet is overflowing, right? So they took my room that was in our little block and I went up to, another place. So there's all kinds of stuff that happens. I had a child text me one time, Miss Eisenhower, Nick is throwing up. He's not awake. He's throwing up in his sleep. Yeah. So fun times. All right. In the park, they always have to be with a group of at least 4. When you're planning Fast Passes and Genie Plus and all that, keep it in mind. Again, this is something we have to reiterate because they hear what I say is stay with a group of 4 always. What they hear is stay with a group of 4 unless I forgot something and I just need to run back real quick. Stay with a group of 4 unless I just need to use the bathroom real quick, right? So if I end up seeing a child walking around then by themselves, then they are with a chaperone for the rest of the time, right? So that, I literally, the child is a senior now, but there was one child that I had to hold his backpack like a leash because he would wander away from me. So it was like I had an 8th grader on a leash. All school rules sorry, y'all, I'm tired. Still do apply in the park, and so they can be written up and have a referral and have consequences when they get back if they're doing something inappropriate in the park or in the hotel or on their phone. Consequences do still apply. It feels like we're away on a trip, but the school rules do still apply, so we remind them of that a lot. And any issues can result in students being sent home early from the trip or suspensions when we get back or inability to do future trips like the DC trip if they have a major issue. So we'll stay on that. All right, that's all the stuff that I think you have something else?
Yeah, I have one more thing, and this is kind of newer because of the whole Stanley Cup thing going on right now. So the bus companies are asking us not to bring Stanley Cups on the bus. One, they don't really fit in the cup holders, and two, because they have straws, it spills all over the bus, and so it's going to be very wet. So they're asking when you bring a drink on the bus to have a screw top. So, and then real quick with the My Disney Experience, you need to be 13 to sign up for the My Disney Experience, which is just the app that shows you like wait times and where everything is. There is something called Disney Genie Plus, and you have to be 18 for that and link a credit card to it in order to buy that. I cannot tell you how much that is because it fluctuates by the day. And that is like a program that kind of gets you in front of the line in some of the rides, but you have to be 18, you have to link a credit card, and then everyone in your group would have to buy it. So it becomes very cumbersome. But just FYI.
We had a lot of kids who got on Tron through that like virtual queue,
Yeah.
and it was really easy. All right, Mr. Sims, before we do open up for questions, he snuck in. You didn't even see him. He's so sneaky. Do you have anything to add for, I know you weren't here quite the whole time, but if there's anything I forgot.
I'm sure you covered it.
All right. Right now, I kind of like to take questions that are big questions that would affect everybody. If you've got something about just your kid, maybe we can do that specifically after. Big questions? Yeah?
So like the Genie Plus, would that mean like I have to have an account and link to
I'm
her
honestly
and
not
get
sure.
it for her? Like,
They get around it, and I'm not sure how they get around it. But I'm really not sure because I mean legally you have to be 18 in order to buy it. So that's all I can tell you.
Yeah, Piper?
So for school insurance, or is it the one we have here or the one we have at home?
You can bring the one, whichever one you prefer, whichever one you like better. It doesn't matter which one because the other folks here will not be playing. They'll have sub-plans. Yeah. Yes.
When do we get rooming assignments?
The rooming assignments, Mr. Sims is going to post those up on Google Classroom. I'm not putting them on our website portion of things because I don't want names and stuff out there on the web. So it'll be in Google Classroom, so your students will be able to check it. Yes.
When you're for the drinks and snacks for everybody, what quantity are you expecting us to buy for?
Like just usually some of those little snack packs, that have 12 to 18 or something like that. It doesn't need to be a huge thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, some people will bring in, the little 12 packs of drinks or something like that. That's usually plenty. Anything that we have left over, we will use when we get back and treat the students to, some extra snacks and drinks. Yes.
Can kids self-organize into groups of 4, or they will be assigned?
Yes, so I don't assign the groups of 4, and I've found over the years that it's actually kind of good if it is malleable and changeable. I was talking about it the other day. Down on the way down, and the first day is pretty good. By the end of day 3, some of them are very tired of each other. They have not spent that amount of time together, and and they're tired and they're grumpy, and they've had some late nights and early mornings and walking around, and so I sometimes it's good for them to be able to change things up. Our rule is just that you have to be with a group of 4 always, so we let them figure that out. Yeah. All right. Yep.
Oh, it's called. I'm sorry, I didn't put it on there. It's called Pestana Orlando Suites. Pestana. Pestana.
Okay. Hannah.
We don't have to wear the band shirts every day.
We are all wearing the same shirt. The very first day will be the Orlando shirt that you're going to get, and then the very next day. So you can wear what you want on the travel days, okay? You don't have to wear it on the Thursday or the Sunday. But when we're in the park, we want everybody wearing the same stuff, so it's very easy to spot all of our kids. Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Nichols coming?
Mr. Nichols is our student intern. Today was his last day with us. He will be back. He will be back. He will be back. But it was his last official day. He will be back though. He is beloved. He's done a fantastic job, and he's going to be back to sub hopefully for me if I need to be absent or Mr. Sims needs to be absent, and then he'll be at our spring concert as well to conduct. But it is he graduates. He's got to go and do his graduation stuff on those days. So, all right. Seeing no questions. Oh, yep.
Will we have, besides Remind, other ways to contact people if there's an incident or something? I mean,
So when you say people, you mean like
you
directors,
or
your kids? You can obviously get through phones. The Remind, I will have my phone with me all the time, so you can text me through Remind. You can email me, but I mean it's just basically text and email. You can any of the teachers, you can reach us by email. That's easy, right? But I just don't. I'm not giving out my personal cell phone to everybody. But Remind, yeah, Remind is basically my cell phone. Yep. Mhm. Say that again. I don't think we will have the time to, because we made the choice to go on Thursday night and let them go to Disney Springs and do some of that big stuff. That by the time we get back every night, it's going to be too late. However, in the past, if we have, for example, a whole bunch of rain, or if there's something that happens in the park that makes us have to leave early, then we might have some extra time. So it wouldn't be a bad idea to pack a swimsuit just in case, but the plan right now is not to use it. Okay. You need anything?
Yeah, I got car situation.
A car situation, yeah?
Silver Cadillac 4572, possibly. I can move it for you, but y'all triple parked, and someone needs to leave in the middle.
Whoa. Anybody have a Cadillac?
Does that have people on?
Silver Cadillac 4572. I can take it for a ride.
It could be, we got soccer parents. I can go.
All right. All right, if you have specific, oh, sorry. Uh-huh. Cans or like the Gatorade bottles. I'd say the